Most men think a woman respects them when they treat her well. But that is only half of the truth. A woman can appreciate your kindness and still not respect your position. She can enjoy your attention and still not feel your strength. She can like your heart and still not feel your boundaries. She can know you are a good man and still test how far your goodness can be stretched before you finally remember yourself. And this is where many men get confused. They believe respect comes from being nice enough, patient enough, forgiving enough, available enough, and understanding enough. So they keep giving more, hoping that one day she will look at them and say, "This man deserves my respect." But female psychology does not usually work that way. Respect is not created by how much of yourself you sacrifice. Respect is created by the kind of man you become while you still care. Because the truth is this: she cannot fully respect a man who has no center. She cannot respect a man who changes his standards every time she gets upset. She cannot respect a man who apologizes just to keep her close. She cannot respect a man who acts confident in public but becomes emotionally controlled in private. She cannot respect a man who says he has boundaries but removes them the moment she pulls away. She cannot respect a man who gives his whole life to a woman before he has even built a life that belongs to him. And this video is not about becoming cold, arrogant, cruel, or treating women badly. A weak man hears "be respected" and thinks it means becoming hard, selfish, or emotionally unavailable. But the type of man a woman truly respects is not the man who hurts her. It is the man who cannot be moved away from his dignity. He can love, but he does not beg. He can listen, but he does not surrender truth. He can be generous, but he does not buy affection. He can forgive, but he does not keep rewarding the same disrespect. He can desire her, but he does not make her approval the source of his value. So in this video, we are going to break down the type of man she cannot help but respect, not because he forces respect, not because he demands it with anger, but because his energy, standards, emotional control, and self-respect make it impossible for her to treat him like a man who has no weight. Because a woman may like the man who gives her everything, but she respects the man who never gives away himself. Before we go on, everything I teach on this channel, every reason, every truth, it's a map. But a map only takes you so far. At some point, you have to actually walk the road. That road is the community. It's where men stop collecting insight and start collecting proof. Proof that they can hold their frame, master their emotions, and build the kind of presence that doesn't need to perform. You don't rent this, you own it. One decision, made once, and every course, every future lesson, every tool we ever release, yours, permanently. No renewals, no countdown. Just a door that opens once and stays open. If you're tired of almost changing, the link is below. Walk through it. Now, let's begin. Section 1. Become the man whose standards do not collapse under emotion. The first type of man she cannot fully respect until you become is the man whose standards do not collapse under emotion. This is one of the biggest differences between a man who is liked and a man who is respected. Many men can speak strongly when everything is calm. They can say, "I know my worth. I have boundaries. I will not tolerate disrespect. And I am not chasing anymore." But the real test does not happen when the conversation is peaceful. The real test happens when she becomes emotional, distant, cold, upset, disappointed, or unpredictable. That is when a woman often discovers whether a man's standards are real or just words he repeats when he feels safe. This is where many men lose respect without noticing it. She becomes upset, and he changes his truth. She pulls away, and he removes his boundary. She goes silent, and he starts chasing. She cries, and he apologizes for things he did not do. She says, "If you cared, you would understand." And suddenly, he abandons what he knows is right, just to keep the connection from shaking. And every time he does this, he teaches her something quietly. He teaches her that his standards are not built on self-respect. They are built on her mood. Female psychology often responds deeply to emotional steadiness. A woman may not always admit it, but she notices whether a man can remain grounded when emotions rise. She notices if he becomes desperate when she withdraws. She notices if he becomes weak when she is disappointed. She notices if he will betray his own truth just to make her comfortable. And when a man keeps collapsing under emotional pressure, she may still care about him, but she struggles to respect him as a man with weight. This does not mean you ignore her feelings. A mature man can listen, understand, and care. But he does not let emotion erase reality. He can say, "I understand you are upset, but I am not going to accept disrespect." He can say, "I care about how you feel, but I will not make a decision from pressure." That is not cold. That is leadership. Because the man she respects is not the man who wins every argument. It is the man who remains himself when emotions try to move him. Section 2. Become the man who does not beg to be chosen. The second type of man she cannot fully respect until you become is the man who does not beg to be chosen. This is one of the deepest shifts in masculine energy because many men lose respect not because they care, but because they start acting like her choice is the final proof of their value. They watch her replies too closely. They study her tone. They become anxious when she takes distance. They over-explain when she misunderstands them. They try harder when she gives less. And slowly, without saying it out loud, they make her feel like she is the prize and they are the man waiting to be approved. That kind of energy may touch her ego, but it rarely builds deep respect. This is where many good men make the same mistake. They think, if I show her enough loyalty, she will choose me. If I stay patient enough, she will realize I am different. If I keep proving my heart, she will finally see my worth. But a woman doesn't respect a man more because he keeps auditioning for a place in her life. She may appreciate the effort. She may enjoy the attention. She may even keep him close because his energy feels comfortable. But if he is always trying to be chosen, she feels that his center is outside of himself. And a man whose center is outside of himself becomes easy to move. Female psychology responds strongly to a man who can desire without begging. That means he can like her, enjoy her, want her, and still not lose his position if she is unsure. He does not become bitter when she pulls back, but he also does not chase confusion. He does not punish her for not choosing him, but he does not keep standing in front of a closed door with open hands. He understands that love must be mutual, respect must be mutual, and access to his life is not something he offers to someone who treats him like an option. For example, if she says, "I do not know what I want," the weak man says, "Take all the time you need. I will wait." The wounded man becomes angry. But the respected man says calmly, "I understand. But I do not place my life on hold for uncertainty." That sentence changes everything. It shows he is open to real connection, but closed to emotional waiting rooms. Because the man she respects is not the man begging to be picked. It is the man who knows his value even when she has not chosen him yet. Section 3. Become the man who gives from strength, not from fear. The third type of man she cannot fully respect until you become is the man who gives from strength, not from fear. This is important because many men confuse generosity with insecurity. They think giving more will automatically make a woman value them more. So they give time before trust is built. They give money before respect is proven. They give attention before effort is returned. They give emotional support to a woman who is still unsure about them. They give forgiveness before real accountability appears. And the entire time, they call it love, loyalty, or being a good man. But deep inside, many of them are not giving from peace. They are giving from fear. Fear of losing her, fear of being replaced, fear of being alone, fear that if they stop giving, she will stop caring. This is where respect quietly begins to disappear. A woman can feel the difference between a man who gives because he chooses to, and a man who gives because he is afraid not to. One feels powerful. The other feels needy. When a man gives from strength, his generosity has dignity behind it. He is not trying to buy affection. He is not trying to prove he deserves love. He is not using kindness as a silent contract. He gives because his life is full, his heart is steady, and his standards are clear. But when he gives from fear, his energy becomes heavy. Every gift carries an invisible expectation. Every favor carries anxiety. Every sacrifice silently asks, "Will you finally value me now?" Female psychology often responds to the emotional source behind a man's actions. She may enjoy what he gives, but she also feels why he gives it. If she senses that his generosity is coming from desperation, she may receive the benefit without respecting the position he is giving from. But if she feels that he is generous because he is grounded, selective, and not afraid to say no, his giving becomes more valuable. For example, the weak man says yes to everything because he fears disappointing her. The bitter man refuses everything to prove power. But the respected man gives when it aligns with his values and says no when it violates his peace. He can say, "I want to help, but I will not become responsible for what you refuse to handle." That is not cold, that is mature strength. Because the man she respects is not the man who gives everything. It is the man whose giving still has boundaries. Section 4. Become the man who does not lose himself when she pulls away. The fourth type of man she cannot fully respect until you become is the man who does not lose himself when she pulls away. This is one of the biggest tests of masculine emotional control because many men look strong when a woman is giving them attention, but the moment she becomes distant, their whole identity starts shaking. They overthink her silence. They check their phone too often. They replay the last conversation. They wonder what they did wrong. They start sending extra messages, trying to fix a problem that may not even exist. And suddenly, the woman does not see a grounded man anymore. She sees a man whose peace depends on whether she is close or far. This is where respect begins to weaken. A woman may pull away for many reasons. She may need space. She may be unsure. She may be testing the emotional weight of the connection. She may be distracted by life, or she may simply not be as invested as you thought. But whatever the reason, your response reveals your level. If you panic, chase, beg, accuse, or become passive-aggressive. You show her that distance controls you. You show her that she can move your mood by moving her attention. And once a man's emotional state becomes controlled by a woman's distance, his power becomes fragile. Female psychology often notices how a man handles uncertainty. She may not say it directly, but she feels whether he is centered or needy. A man who collapses when she pulls away creates pressure. His energy says, "Please come back so I can feel okay again." But a man who remains steady creates respect. His energy says, "I enjoy your presence, but I do not abandon my own life when you need space." That difference is powerful because it shows that his identity is not built around being chosen. For example, if she becomes distant, the weak man asks, "Why are you acting different? Did I do something wrong?" The bitter man starts ignoring her to punish her, but the respected man stays calm and continues his life. If needed, he says once, "I noticed the energy changed. I'm open to clarity, but I'm not chasing confusion." Then he steps back and lets her actions speak. Because the man she respects is not the man who panics when she pulls away. It is the man who remains whole even when her attention disappears. Section 5. Become the man who corrects disrespect without becoming cruel. The fifth type of man she cannot fully respect until you become is the man who corrects disrespect without becoming cruel. This is a rare kind of strength because most men go to one of two extremes when they feel disrespected. Some men become silent in a weak way. They swallow the comment, laugh when it hurts, pretend they are not bothered, and tell themselves they are being mature. But inside, resentment grows. Other men explode. They attack back, insult her, raise their voice, and try to make her feel small because she made them feel small first. But neither one creates real respect. One teaches her that disrespect has no consequence. The other teaches her that your emotions are easy to control. A respected man moves differently. He does not ignore disrespect, but he does not become disrespectful to correct it. He understands that the way he handles the moment is part of the lesson. If he becomes cruel, he lowers himself to the same level he is trying to correct. If he becomes passive, he teaches her that his dignity can be stepped on without response. But when he stays calm, firm, and clear, he creates a boundary without losing his masculine control. That is the kind of man a woman feels differently around, because he does not need anger to prove strength. Female psychology often responds to a man who can hold his position under pressure. A woman may test, challenge, joke sharply, speak with emotion, or cross a line without fully realizing how far she went. But your response tells her whether you are a man with standards or a man who can be pushed into weakness. The respected man does not give long emotional speeches begging her to understand his pain. He also does not punish her with cruelty. He simply names the line and lets his behavior support it. For example, if she says something humiliating like, "You're not that special," the weak man tries to prove he is special. The angry man insults her back. But the respected man stays calm and says, "You can speak honestly, but don't speak to me like I'm beneath you." Then he stops talking. He does not over-explain. He does not beg for respect. He lets the silence make the boundary felt. Because the man she respects is not the man who lets everything slide. And it is not the man who destroys her with words. It is the man who can correct disrespect without losing himself. Section 6. Become the man whose life is bigger than her approval. The sixth type of man she cannot fully respect until you become is the man whose life is bigger than her approval. This is one of the deepest shifts a man can make, because many men do not realize how much power they give away when a woman becomes the center of their confidence. They feel strong when she compliments them, but weak when she becomes cold. They feel valuable when she replies quickly, but unwanted when she delays. They feel masculine when she admires them, but insecure when she questions them. And slowly, without noticing it, their identity starts depending on her reactions. Her attention becomes fuel, her silence becomes punishment, her approval becomes permission to feel like a man. But a woman cannot deeply respect a man whose entire emotional world rises and falls according to how she treats him that day. This is where many men become less attractive without understanding why. They start organizing their life around her. They cancel plans too easily. They stop focusing on their purpose. They become less disciplined. They spend too much time checking her mood and not enough time building themselves. They make her the main event, while their own goals, body, mind, work, faith, friendships, and future become background noise. At first, she may enjoy the attention. She may like being important to him. But if she feels that he has nothing bigger pulling him forward, respect begins to weaken. Because female psychology often responds to a man who has direction beyond romance. A woman may enjoy being desired, but she respects a man who is not emotionally unemployed without her. The man she respects has a life with weight. He has routines. He has purpose. He has discipline. He has standards. He has things he is building that existed before her and will continue even if she leaves. This does not mean he neglects her. It means he does not abandon himself to keep her. He can love her, but she is not his whole identity. He can give her attention, but not at the cost of his mission. He can care deeply, but his life does not become empty the moment she pulls back. For example, if she becomes distant, the weak man stops living and starts waiting. The respected man notices the distance, stays calm, and continues moving. He still trains, works, creates, leads, learns, and protects his peace. His life does not pause because her energy changed. Because the man she respects is not the man who makes her his entire world. It is the man whose world is strong enough that being part of it feels meaningful. If she cannot respect you until you become this type of man, understand this clearly. It is not because you need to become cruel, cold, arrogant, or emotionally unavailable. It is because respect needs structure. A woman may enjoy your kindness, but kindness without boundaries becomes easy to take for granted. She may appreciate your attention, but attention without self-respect becomes cheap. She may like your love, but love without a center becomes weakness. And once a man loses his center, he starts asking for the respect he should have been living from. The type of man she respects is not the loudest man in the room. It is not the man who tries to dominate every conversation. It is not the man who treats women badly to prove he is strong. It is the man who remains himself under pressure. The man whose standards do not collapse when emotions rise. The man who does not beg to be chosen. The man who gives from strength, not fear. The man who does not lose himself when she pulls away. The man who corrects disrespect without becoming cruel. The man whose life is bigger than her approval. And the man who can walk away without hatred when respect is no longer present. That is the man who carries weight. Because a woman can feel when a man is afraid of losing her. She can feel when he is performing confidence, but secretly waiting for her validation. She can feel when his boundaries are only strong until she becomes distant. She can feel when his generosity is coming from fear. She can feel when his peace depends on her mood. And once she feels that, attraction may still exist, but respect becomes difficult to maintain. So stop asking, how do I make her respect me? Ask a stronger question. Am I living like a man who respects himself? Because the truth is, you do not force respect from a woman. You become the kind of man whose presence makes disrespect uncomfortable. You become steady. You become grounded. You become clear. You become loving without becoming powerless. You become patient without becoming passive. You become generous without becoming desperate. You become emotionally controlled without becoming cold. And when you become that man, everything changes. Not because she suddenly gives you power, but because you finally stopped giving yours away. Comment below. What makes a man more respected? Boundaries, confidence, emotional control, or walking away? And if this gave you clarity, subscribe for more deep lessons on female psychology, emotional control, masculine self-respect, boundaries, and becoming the kind of man who never loses himself just to be loved.